Hey everyone, welcome back to your favorite pirate crew. Today we are going to see the real reason Rayleigh is called the Dog King. If you would like to see more about One Piece in our channel, please leave your thumbs up and subscribe to join our pirate crew. Silver's Rayleigh has the nickname King of Darkness and is the former first mate of Roger's pirates, known as the right arm of the Pirate King. He became a plating mechanic in the Sabaody archipelago sometime after Roger died and the crew was disbanded. He served as Luffy's mentor in the use of Haki during the 2-year time skip. Currently, Rayleigh works as a plating mechanic in the Sabaody archipelago, along with his partner Shaki, also played a big role, most notably saving Kami at the auction house by easily removing the explosive necklace from her neck and taking down everyone there with his Haoshoku Haki, King's Haki. Silvers was also Monkey D. Luffy's great mentor and time skip for 2 years. Currently, the King of Darkness still resides in the same place where he also works. Vulture's Shaki says that he is 100 times stronger than all 11 supernovas. In fact, when Garp was told Rayleigh may be in the Sabaody archipelago, he told his men not to confront him. Garp argued that the Marines should not face two legends, Whitebird and Rayleigh, at the same time. The main characteristic in Rayleigh is his completely relaxed and slovenly personality, super different from what you expect when you hear about him, although by the way it matches perfectly with his current appearance. This old man's face already reveals his funny side. Still, it is hard to think that the character would have a past as a serious and responsible crew member, where he was the disciplinarian of Gol D Roger gang. Even though he's laid back, Silvers knows perfectly well how to act serious, most of the time in fights where he draws applause from the viewers. And in another instance, he showed that he still understands discipline when he trained Luffy for 2 years of time skip. When he met with Roger, his captain, the old man, who was a man at the time, looked quite normal, that is, with a serious but amused face. When he joined the gang, he was given a role of disciplinarian, so he was kept most of or all the time with a seriousness. But by the time his leader was executed, he realized that it was no use living in a grumpy way without enjoying anything, so he adopted an even funnier personality than in the beginning. Rayleigh was the XO of Roger's gang in the past and remained with his captain until the end of his days. Even though he did not see his execution, he was responsible for disciplining Shanks and Buggy, who, until then, were apprentices in his crew. The Dark King, as he was also known, joined piracy after accepting the invitation of an aspiring pirate wearing a straw hat, starting his journey with the future King of Pirates. In the past, but precisely 26 years ago, in Luffy's story, his captain acquired a disease with no cure, and Rayleigh followed Roger for their last journey together, where they would become the only gang to conquer the Grand Line in its entirety. 6 years ago, he was also responsible for saving Hatchin from shipwreck, with whom he formed an excellent friendship. The character helped the Gorgon sisters after they escaped from the Tenryubito's domain. After this, he became a mechanical reaver in the Sabaody archipelago, helping other pirates to realize their dream of discovering One Piece. Rayleigh is simply incredibly strong, as he was part of the crew of Gol D Roger, the Pirate King. He has speed, strength, and several other very powerful things. In his prime, at the time he was younger, apparently Rayleigh was more powerful than a Marine Admiral because in Sabaody he managed to stop an attack by Kizaru with his feet, saving Zoro from receiving the full blow, after which the two started fighting. Borsalino created a sword of light with his power, the Pika Pika no Mi, and started to attack Rayleigh, who was just devouring himself. Since he was rather old, the King of Darkness probably wouldn't win, because after spending a few minutes fighting Kizaru, he started to get tired. But that doesn't take away from his merits, because in this fight apparently Rayleigh wasn't taking it seriously. Even though he was old, he managed to stop the Admiral and delay him from going after the Straw Hats. Since he is very experienced, he possesses all three types of hakis, being then armament, observation, and the King's Haki. Thanks to that, he started training Luffy to make him master them and become stronger, because later on the Straw Hat, wanting it or not, would have to face some enemy with Loja type Akuma no Mi. If he doesn't know the armament Haki, he would probably lose. Rayleigh was also quite skilled in using sword. Maybe he was strong enough to fight on equal terms with Mihawk, or even be stronger than him before. On top of all this, he also fights with only his hands because of his incredible strength. Hakis are abilities that allow the user to do certain things, including predict attacks, attack users of Loja type Akuma no Mi, and knock out a certain amount of apparently weak people. As mentioned before, Rayleigh has all three hakis, which gives him more or less total control over them. Armament Haki, or Uzoshuku Haki, is the power that allows the user to enhance their attacks, doubling the amount of damage and allowing them to merge with other skills or swords, like Zoro did to cut Pika and Luffy in their gears. This Haki also serves to attack Loja users and defend against attacks. The user can also completely cover his body, as Virgo did in Punk Hazard. Observation Haki, or Kenbunshuku Haki, is an ability that allows the user to sense the presence of his enemy around him and predict attacks. Several strong characters can use it, even Usopp. With a strong training on it, the user can see a bit of the future, like Katakuri, currently the only character who has the right to do such a feat. Conqueror's Haki, or Houshuku Haki, is one of the Hakis that cannot activate in training and only awakens in 1 million people. It allows the user to make a certain amount of people conscious when they are hit. The more developed the Haki is, the more weak people will faint. I believe that Rayleigh is called the King of Darkness not because he was evil, as his name would suggest at first sight, nor because he took over some castle where he ruled it and was an evil and arrogant king, whose ambition was to conquer all the countries in the world and make all living men fear his name, as is said on this page. But in other words, if the darkness were spoken directly about him, he would also be a king of something. But he is neither the king of a kingdom nor the king of pirates. Considering that the title belongs to Gol D. Roger, the words King of Darkness are one specific nickname, a type of second king of pirates, hiding under the shadow of the real king, Roger. He basically assumes the guise of the second pirate king by traveling with the real pirate king, and is thus called the Dark King. He would have been the king if Roger had taken a vacation or died. He is/was like a king because Roger had complete trust in him, but he is/was not really the king. The same goes for, that is, the dark side of the moon. It is not a scary side, it is a facet of the moon that simply cannot be seen, making reference to Rayleigh, reasoning as to why he's called the King of Darkness. Another reason may be because he is in the shadow of the great King of Pirates, Gol D Roger. He's basically like a king in terms of power, and I'm sure he would have been a strong pirate captain with his own crew if he wanted to be. No matter how strong Rayleigh is or was in his prime, he will always be known as a Roger's second in command, even though he is a haki master, and we have reason to believe that he was considered at one point the strongest swordman in the world. If I remember correctly, the first time he appears, he is introduced as Roger's right hand and not as the King of Darkness. And to be honest, Rayleigh seemed too humble to me to call himself a king. Kizaru is not the first who call him the King of Darkness. Anyway, Rayleigh is an extremely important character in the book, and even though he is older, he exudes and strength. Besides his advanced knowledge, Rayleigh has the respect of the other pirates. After all, he was at the beginning of everything. Before the new world existed, he was already exploring the road of One Piece. That's it, my Mujiwara. I really hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any suggestions for a video, don't forget to comment below because I'll be reading them all, as I always do. Also, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any content from your favorite pirate crew.